Welcome back to the Takeout. Thanks for hanging out with us. New York Democratic Congressman Jerry Nadler and Iowa Republican Senator Joni Ernst, the latest members to join a kind of enlarging caucus on Capitol Hill, the throw in the towel caucus. They're just not hanging around here anymore. They're not running for re-election. Talked about this and many other things in the matter of politics. Joining me now, former Republican senior congressional aide, Rina Shah, friend of the show. Vedant Patel, also a friend of the show. Served as a spokesperson for the State Department during the Biden administration. Look, they're all friends of the show. Congressional correspondent for 24 Site News, Juliegrace Brufke. I want to play for you sound we had on the show about 2 weeks ago, if memory serves, Liam Elkind, running against Jerry Nadler. And I asked him, what's wrong with Jerry Nadler? Let's listen.
I grew up voting for him. I have great respect for his career. At the same time, we're in a different moment now. Housing is more expensive. Healthcare is more expensive. We need leaders who can meet this moment. And the Democratic Party desperately needs to build a bridge to the next generation. And if they aren't going to build that bridge, we're going to start building it ourselves.
Jerry Nadler now agrees. Give me your sense of that view.
Well, look, I think first to take a step back, this is certainly the end of an era for New York. Congressman Nadler has helped this country navigate through some very testy waters, including impeachment hearings. But I think this is something that we're going to see across congressional districts around the country. People are going to need to make choices whether they can weather the storm when it comes to re-election. There's primary challengers popping up every day in states big and small and congressional districts big and small. And it seems like Congressman Nadler made a calculus.
And Juliegrace, this also played out in Texas, which after the new maps were drawn, it looked for a while that Lloyd Doggett was going to stay in and a senior ranking member of the House Democratic Caucus. And then he looked at it and said, no, I'm not going to challenge that younger Democrat. I'm going to opt out. So this older generation of Democrats who for a while was standing on the proposition, well, experience matters, knowledge matters, long-term constituent service matters. In the end, they're backing away.
Now, I've talked to a lot of younger Democrats that have they want different messaging, and they felt like, we kind of saw it with the Democratic leadership elections last time around on kind of a push for a new generational change. So I feel like it's not totally surprising. And I know that speaking to some other Democrats, that Jerry Nadler had some health issues. So I think that also was probably a factor there. But definitely the end of an era there. And I think we'll probably see more of that generational change continue to churn as some of these, especially with some of these maps being redrawn.
And Rina, is the shorthand of all this, if you can TikTok, you can stay. If you can't, you got to go?
Oh, I wouldn't reduce it to that. I mean, look, Jerry Nadler's been a titan for New York, 34 years fighting for civil rights, securing funding for 9/11 recovery. I think he just realized it's time for fresh voices and time to pass on the torch to those progressive voices that he sees in New York. And also, I really love that call for generational change he made. It's bold, and it's not just about stepping aside. It is about trusting younger leadership to tackle the challenges that Trump is bringing directly to the doorstep in New York. And also, I think his retirement really signals some hope, actually, for the Democratic Party. In essence, it's what we're going to see, and I don't know that it's going to change anytime between now and when the race takes place. It's going to be a fierce race. It's going to be a crowded primary, I believe, because his legacy of grit and principle has really set a high bar. There are a lot of people who think they can meet that.
We are not going to chew the shutdown dog bone for the entire remaining time we have together, which is about 4 minutes. But I want to get your 30-second sense of what the political calculus is for Democrats in this particular month.
I think it's twofold. First, obviously, we want to see Democrats fight to restore some of the funding cuts that have been going back and forth in these talks, whether it be Medicaid, rural hospital funding. But I think an important thing to remember is there's an election in Virginia in fall where there are a lot of federal
and New
workers,
Jersey,
or there are a lot of federal workers, a lot of public employees who are going to be hurt on the front lines if there's a federal shutdown. So we've got to fight.
That's going to be a proxy election for
Absolutely.
This conversation, no doubt. Juliegrace, your 30 seconds on shutdown dynamics.
So it sounds like Tom Cole's kind of pushing for a stopgap
House Republican
till November. Yeah, and it seems like Rosa DeLauro expressed some openness to that.
Ranking Democrat on approach.
I talked to some Democrat leadership staffers earlier today that said they're not going to rubber stamp something if Republicans tack anything onto a stopgap. So they're upset about the changes to Medicaid and reconciliation. So if there's anything they can kind of leverage on that front in a CR, that's kind of on the table on that front.
Rina?
It's deja vu. You know, you've got lawmakers
all over again
who are playing chicken with our economy here. And it's not like a shutdown just hurts federal workers. They hit small businesses too, these shutdowns. And even a looming shutdown can do that. I think federal workers, small businesses, you name it, I think we need to get a deal done without the drama. And I trust Speaker Johnson to try to take the ball there. But this deadline, more than anything else, it's a test. It's a test of whether Congress can put people over politics. And I know that happens every time, but I'm not holding my breath on this one, except for just saying that I believe common sense can prevail.
Vedant, there's a new poll that shows Cuomo ahead of Mamdani in the New York mayor's race. Do you believe it?
I think the caveat there is if everyone else drops out, which is a really important if, because it doesn't seem like anybody else is going to. It's a super big if. It's a super big if. So it's sort of like, I would love to go to the moon, but it all remains to be seen. I think you saw Governor Cuomo and Mayor Adams.
Right, the stipulation was that was head to head.
Sure, certainly they played a little bit of a game of chicken this summer of who's going to drop out, who's going to not. I think it remains to be seen if anybody's going to actually do that. And if the field remains as crowded as it currently is, I think this poll is, it's just a poll.
Patel, you get the last word. Rina, Shah, Juliegrace Brufke, always a great pleasure to have you here at the family table. Thank you.